What's up, hooligans? I'll be reviewing the AMX Wonder prototype and seeing if this French medium is worth your money or if you should avoid it. The hit points are pretty good for a tier 9 at 1,749. The only real armor is on the turret. I'll flash the stats on the screen, but everywhere else people will be able to pin you. We'll look at the armor more in Armor Inspector. View range is very good at 302, so you'll easily be able to spot for your team. And concealment is okay for the AMX, you could definitely work with it. The damage per minute is about average for a tier 9 medium, sitting at 2,600. The reload time is 7.15 seconds, it's not really anything special. The penetration isn't the best with the AP 244, APCR 276, and HE 55, but you'll be able to pin most of the tanks you go up against. Alpha damage isn't anything crazy, but is good with the AP 310, APCR 260, and HE 350. The aiming time and dispersion are fairly decent at 3.3 seconds and 0.326 respectively. Gun elevation and depression are very good with the elevation 16 and depression 10 degrees a second, so most spots you find yourself in, you'll be effective. The AMX is very fast with the top speed going forward 60, in reverse 23, and average speed 40. There are faster tanks, but this is more than enough to get around the battle, spot, flank, and support your team. Turn rates are super good with the turret sitting at 48.60 and the hull being 68.59 degrees a second. The terrain crossing capacity and engine power look very good for the AMX prototype. I'll flash everything I use for the tank on the screen. You could copy it or use it as a template. That's just how I like to use the medium. Credit coefficient is at 141%. It won't make the most credits, but it'll still make an okay amount for you. As you can see, everyone will pin your upper and lower hulls no problem. But when it comes to the turret, it is extremely strong. The only spot people will be able to pin you is that pretty big cupola there. Everyone will pin your sides, but you do have some spaced armor right here. And everyone will pin your rear. So how would you play the AMX prototype, and what are some tactics you could use to help you play it? First, you would want to spot and then get into a haul down position and support your team. Peekaboo is almost always a tactic you could rely on, especially in a strong haul down tank like this. Hit and run is very good with the mobility the AMX has as long as you can get away safely. Circle death is amazing yet again because of the mobility. You could easily run circles around the enemy and they won't be able to hit you. Trading you can do, but save as many hit points as you can towards the end of the battle just in case you really need them. 1v1s I wouldn't recommend unless you know you could take out the enemy. Sniping is okay, if you have shots, take them, but preferably you'd want to be mid to close range. But battles and situations will change. You'll have to adapt to what is going on around you. If you think I left anything important out, please let me know in the comments so others could play the tank better. If you haven't already, consider beating up the like button and subscribing to the channel, but let's get into the replays now. I pushed over to the right hand side because looking at the enemy lineup, half their team is mediums and lights and they will most likely come this way. I'm not pushing up anymore because I'm in a very strong haul down position, and I could use the AMX's very good turret armor and gun depression to my advantage. But I pulled out a little bit too far right there, or the back chat ended up hitting our cupola. Either way, he was able to get a shot into us. You always gotta watch out for your cupola because it is very large on this medium. I'm just using peekaboo right now. I'm getting a shot into the enemy, pulling back into cover, and repeating that process once I'm fully reloaded. Like I said earlier, this tactic is very strong, especially in a tank like this. We're focusing the 1-to-1B because he's the only guy I have shots on right now, and we are able to lure him down to a one-shot. I take a moment to see how the battle is going. I see that most of the enemy team is over on the left side and we have 2 one-shots in front of us. So I decide that it is worth it to take a few hits to get these guns out of the game. Our WZ takes out the 1-to-1B and the back chat is trying to run away, so I'm gonna hunt him down and send him back to the garage. I was not expecting that waffle tractor to be there, but luckily for us, we have some spaced armor on the side. So it was able to take a lot of that damage. You could just imagine if we didn't have the spaced armor, we would be a definite one-shot to everyone right now. We're gonna try to help out our E50 and focus that IS-7, while keeping an eye on my surroundings and seeing how the battle is going, and keeping that concrete barrier in front of me in case there's an enemy that has a line of sight on me from somewhere so they won't be able to get shots off. The IS-7 is now a one-shot. I switched to APCR just to make sure I could get the kill. Now we're going to focus the waffle tractor. He's an easy 2-shot for me, and I switched to HE because if you're not, you're doing something wrong. We get a nice hit into him and our E50 swoops in and takes him out. My next target is the Object 907. I'm trying to rush over there and get as much damage as I can before my team absolutely destroys him. Luckily for me, I am able to finish him off and get a little bit more damage in the process. And all that's left is the ML2, and he does not have a lot of hit points left. It looks like the 60 TP in him have been duking it out this entire battle. So the E50 and I are rushing over there to scavenge as much damage as we can from him. The E50 goes in for the ram, and I manage to get one more shot off into him before our 60 TP takes him out for the win. We We got 3,973 damage, 3 tanks destroyed, and the first class. Got a very juicy amount of credits, and top on the leaderboard for that battle. I went to the right side again, mainly for the same reasons as the first battle. Did you just see that? I did not expect that to hit him at all, but it looks like RNG is on my side. I push up until I'm in a decent haul down position, and if that Leo decided to rush me, hopefully my teammates behind me, the TDs and the mediums, would have been able to get shots into him. Yes, I could have rushed in and started brawling with the Leo one, but I don't have enough information about the enemy team yet. Most of the enemy team could have pushed this way with this Leo, while a few others pushed over to the other side of the map and capped out the bases. That's why I decided to be a little bit more passive instead of risking it. And it turned out to be the right choice because my team and I just tore apart these mediums. I don't know what the Leo was thinking. It looked like he was about to just drive off the waterfall, but I made sure that didn't happen. I made a mistake right here. I did not check how the battle was going, where the enemy positions were, none of that. It cost me half my hit points in one shot. One shot. That alone just shows you how important situational awareness is. Because if you don't know what's going on around you, you could easily get torn apart in less than a second. Now I'm playing more passively, just waiting for the enemy to get in my line of sight like that Kronwagen there, and checking to make sure no enemy has shots on me so I can move to a certain position. I start pushing up to see if I could support our T-62 from that Kronwagen, but I notice that the Jagdpanzer E-100 is trying to flank him. I wait until I get the perfect opportunity to drop down off the ledge and get behind the Jagdpanzer. With the AMX's mobility, it should be fairly easy to get behind him. And once I get there, it should be fairly easy to take him out, but I make sure I'm between him and the rock so he can't just peel me off him. I also gotta be careful of the Kronwagen in case he just ignores our T-62A and starts focusing me to try to save the Jag. That's just a feels bad moment right there. I bounced the shot from behind the Jagdpanzer and I went into sniper mode just to make sure I didn't miss the shot, and I still missed it. But we end up finishing him off and the 183 takes out the Kronwagen. All that's left on the enemy team is the MO2 and the T-92E1. I decided my team could handle the MO and they should be able to take him out pretty quickly. So I start going to where the T-92 was last seen. Quick question for you. Would you like to see a breakdown video or tutorial of sorts? For example, how to side scrape properly, how to and when to use the different ammo types, or how to use different tactics. If so, let me know. Also, if you have any information you would like to share with other players, leave them in the comments below. I might just use it in a future video. Is the AMX Wonder prototype worth it? Yes, it is. I think the AMX is very good and, at least in my opinion, very easy to play and get used to. The only thing I really regret is not getting this tank sooner, because I thought the tank was going to be awful and I just wouldn't like it. But after getting the prototype, I really like it and it just fits my playstyle so perfectly. And in my opinion, I think it's as good if not better than some tier 10 mediums. What do you think? Is the AMX any good? Or is it as good as some tier 10 mediums? Let me know in the comments below. Did you enjoy this review? Check this one out. I think you'll like it too.